What up, Buckeye Nation? Welcome to the Buckeye Boys, where we talk about college football with real fans. I'm Devan, that's Melo, and that's Tony, and I freaking pointed in the right direction. I'm pumped, dude.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I drilled
It's
that,
about
dude.
time,
Nailed it.
Devin. You got this right.
Hey.
Nailed it.
I thought about that in my head as I'm talking. I'm like, oh, dang, it's the opposite. I see Melo on this side of
Yeah.
me. I got to point the other way.
Right.
Got it, dude. Man, that got me way more excited than it should have. It's been a crazy day. Anyway, how
Yeah.
you fellas doing today? Mello?
I'm good, man. Can't complain.
Good. Good. Tony, how you doing today?
Good. Saved the cat's life again today, so just living my best life.
Saved a cat's life again? What you
Yeah.
talking about? Let's hear it.
Same cat. Second time, like
I don't know nothing about no first cat. So you got to fill me in. Yeah,
still
what's
the same
up?
cat. So my friend's cat literally was sick. She was down, had back problems, whatever. It was like peeing blood, like wouldn't move, wouldn't do anything, like couldn't get it to take any food, any water, didn't eat for like 2 or 3 days. Finally, we tried to call vets. She lives an hour and a half away, right? I literally called vets all the way back down to my hometown, finally found one that didn't say, sent it to an emergency vet. I brought it down here. Literally, it was like they didn't know if it was going to live through the night. I paid $450, got it well, took it back home after 4 days. Then over the weekend, it's still kind of peeing blood and it's still like not completely well. So I had to bring it back down to the vet and take it back in. So it's here at the house with me getting antibiotics again. So
Nice, dude. Well, congratulations, the cat saver.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, we back at it, man. Bye week. Last game didn't go so hot for the Buckeyes, but the more I watch the game, the more I think about it. I'm more on the positive side of that game. But here we are, man. Ryan Day had a press conference. He said a lot of interesting things. We're going to touch on that in this video a little bit as well. But let's do the Nebraska preview, man. Where do we want to start? First off, let's start on this topic here with the fact that at the beginning of the year, everybody thought that this Nebraska game coming up was going to be kind of a pretty big game, right? We all saw Dylan Melo playing. We saw Nebraska's defense and the way they were operating on offense. It looked like it might be some type of game. There was a lot of people like getting a little bit nervous about this game. And then the old Indiana Hoosiers run in there and absolutely demolish Nebraska. So I need to get your guys' thoughts on where you're at with this game now, considering the Indiana game. Tony, where you at?
I think it's more of a measuring stick now to calm me down about Indiana than it is to be worried about. Like everybody thought like Nebraska was going to come in 7-0 and it was going to be a whole thing and Dylan Raiola and all that. And I've never seen a team have so much hype and then look so pedestrian so quickly. So I think I'm more concerned now with us looking the part like we're supposed to look after the loss and stuff, like, getting back to normal, looking like how we're supposed to look, looking like even remotely close to how Indiana looked, and just, doing what we're supposed to be doing again. That's what I think it is to me.
Gotcha. Mello, where you at?
Just like I said last night, I want to see where the defense is at, where the O-line is at with the injuries. I want to see who they're going to replace Latham Ransom with.
Well, hold up real fast. What I mean by where are you at is the fact that Indiana beat Nebraska so bad, does that take like a little bit of excitement from this game away from you? As in, you don't think it's going to be a game now like you did before, or did Indiana expose a fraudulent team? What's your thoughts in that regard?
Oh yeah, I'm getting to that.
Oh, my bad.
In terms of that, I think that Nebraska is a young team. I was never concerned with this game at all, even in the beginning at all. Like never, not 1 second. So like now, the focus for me is how do we look? It's all about the Buckeyes. It's not anything to do with Nebraska. It's about us as a team. I think it's going to be a bludgeoning. So I'm not worried about Nebraska at all. I just want to see, like Tony said, how we bounce back from Oregon.
Yeah, I got you. I can't honestly say that I was ever too worried like you, Mello, about Nebraska at all. And to be honest with you, I've heard a lot of people that say that thing about, you know, hey, if Ohio State goes in there and doesn't beat Nebraska as bad as Indiana beat them, that they're now going to be we're going to be judging Ohio State based off how Indiana beat them.
Yeah,
I can see how you might do that. I'm just not there. And I'm not there because, and I might eat my words, man, but just not there with Indiana playing Ohio State.
right.
I just don't see it, man. This is Ohio State. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yep.
maybe in a couple years, if that coach stays there, he can build that up. But and again, I could very easily eat my words. I'm not saying go into Indiana and not take it seriously. And you can't sleepwalk into any game. I don't care who the heck you play this year. You better bring the heat every game. But I'm not sitting here losing sleep over the Indiana game, but that's just my opinion. Could very well eat my words. So let's move on, man. Anything from, let's start with Will Howard. Are we expecting to see anything different, or what do you guys want to see out of Will Howard this game? You could say the same thing he's been doing all year, but Melo, what do you want to see out of Will
I
Howard?
want to see him hit a deep shot for a touchdown. I need his timing to be better on those deep shots, so that way Optimus and Tate and Emeka don't have to stop literally to wait for the ball. You need to throw it sooner. If your
Yeah.
arm isn't strong enough to get it out there, you can't wait. He needs to apply by this. If you're even, he's leaving. And with Optimus, if the guy is, if he's 1 yard away from being even, he's leaving. So throw it earlier.
Yeah, I feel you. Tony, how about you?
I think just like now that we round the corner to the back half of the season, like Will Howard's good for like one weird error a game, like whether it's like a trip and fall or an errant throw that you're like, where'd that come from? Like just none of those, just not that, just one time, like no weird errors that are inexplicable from him. And yeah, I mean the deep ball would be great too, but like I necessarily don't know if it's a timing thing or if it's an arm talent thing or whatever. But like I think if he's just great on intermediate passes and he gets rid of that like one weird mistake at weird times, I think we'll be good.
Yeah, I feel you. I'm kind of in par with both of what you guys said with the one weird mistake. I would like to see him not like make a bad read into coverage and luckily not get an interception. Really didn't see that in the Oregon game that bad, but we just saw some random trip and fall, I think, or was that
Yeah.
on purpose, or we don't know what that was. It looked like Bennett
At the
Christian
worst time possible.
trying to catch that pass that he threw to him the other day. I don't know if you remember that or not, but I do. But yeah, and then definitely the deep ball, man. For some reason, because of the press conference that Ryan Day had when he said, I liked in the press conference because he said that they're chucking deep balls today, and everybody started laughing except for Ryan Day. He sat there with a straight face and said, "We're chucking deep balls today." That's what he said. So with the way that Indiana went out and absolutely lit up, Nebraska's secondary, I'm kind of looking for that and looking to see some more throwing, but the same thing, more of an even rushing and passing attack. So let's roll into that a little bit. Let's just get into the offense in general and just give me a little more detail about what you're wanting to see from the offense, Tony.
I think I need to see them run the ball and not abandon the run. I need to see the O-line be cohesive given some of the changes that have to happen now. You know what I'm saying? With losing Kazmarek and losing Josh Simmons, you know what I'm saying? Like I need to see the blocking hold up and us to, even if like, because even like if you watch games like even like the Tennessee Alabama game, like Tennessee was getting railed running the ball. You know what I'm saying? They just couldn't run the ball the whole first half. And then slowly they wore them down and they broke through. I think we just need to not abandon the run and try to, as long as the O-line can be cohesive, that's a big part of what I need to see. I think the passing will be fine. You know what I'm saying? I think our wide receivers are absolutely will do more than Indiana's at that point. Like, so, I think Will Howard's better than the quarterback from Indiana. So Like I don't think we should have trouble. I just want to see them establish a solid game plan and stick to it and not get all tight and weird.
Gotcha. Melo?
Yeah, for me, I want to see just domination on the line of scrimmage, period. I know we don't have Josh Simmons. We lost our best offensive lineman. It shouldn't be a drop-off. I mean, not a big drop-off. We got Zen, who's a senior. So, I mean, he's been in the program for 4 years. He needs to show up and step it up. And I want to see improvement from Tegra or Saraville, whoever's going to start over there. I need to see them doing a better job. And obviously, I want to see Fryer just keep balling out and keep improving week in and week out. So I'm looking at the O-line heavily, most importantly. And if Q is banged up and dinged up, I would like to see James People get some more play with the rock. And then Jelani Thurman, he needs burn. They need to play him a lot.
Yeah, I know. You look at some of these other teams around the country, and the one example that I have is like Jordan Seaton from Colorado, right? Freshman. They throw him in at left tackle. The beginning of the year does absolutely horrible. But look at him now. You know what I mean? He's doing pretty good, and that's just how you get people better. So those are along the lines of Jelani Thurman. That's the main, minus what you guys said with the new left tackle, new tight ends coming in. Do I keep saying his name wrong? It's Bennett Christian, isn't it?
Yeah.
Christensen.
Oh, is it Christensen?
Yeah.
Bennett Christensen?
I think so. I'm pretty sure.
So, but his first name's Bennett, right?
Yeah.
I don't know why my brain goes, is it Christian Bennett or Bennett Christian? I get screwed up sometimes. But anyway, I'm excited to see him get more playing time. Day said in the press conference that it was his time anyway to get more playing time. But more important than that, hopefully they just go with Jelani Thurman, like you said, Melo, and just let him be on the field, let him make his mistakes, let him learn from those mistakes, and just go, dude. I'm really going to be looking at rotations because you almost feel like after that Oregon game, there's going to be some changes, and one of those has to be rotations on defense, which we'll get into. But I want to see if that affects the rotations on offense. You know what I mean? Are we going to start seeing some of these other players,
My bad. It is Bennett Christian.
Okay.
No, you were right.
It's all good.
Yeah.
But, I mean, like some of these higher – so this day and age in college football, here's what you run into. And this is just the truth. And I'm just going to say it, and people can just take it for what it is, dude. Number one reason for rotation, to get players experience in case a player goes down, you need somebody in there. That's the future of your football team. Get them in the game. Get the starters out of the game when you're up 3 touchdowns in the third quarter and you're clearly dominating the game. Like stop playing them so long. But then the other part is college football is different, dude. The transfer portal, and it's the wild, wild west out there.
Yeah.
You got to be conscious of that when you're bringing these players in, man. When you're bringing Edric Houston in, Milan Graham in, and some of these other like high players, give them a shot. Put them out there. Let them have that experience. Keep them happy, per se, and let the ball roll how the ball rolls. So I'm going to be paying attention to that a little bit and seeing if something changes with rotation a little bit more. If second string, third string quarterback comes in a little sooner, if we see James Peoples a lot more, different things like that. That is one thing I'm curious about, because I've heard 2 different takes on Quinshon, right? I've heard that everybody listens to Ryan Day, that it's not really that big a deal. And then there's some people saying it's kind of a big deal, and he's going to be out for at least 2 weeks. Some people say 4 weeks. Some people are saying these different things, and they always bring up the Mayan Williams thing where they said that it was day by day, but really he had a torn MCL or something and was out for the season. But Ryan Day just kept stringing everybody along. So what's your guys' best feeling on Quinshon? Do you think this is a real, hey, it ain't no big deal? Or do you think Ryan's got something up his sleeve and he's pulling the sheet over everybody's eyes right now?
I think Q's going to play. I just don't think he's going to play a lot.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at with it. I think he'll definitely get his carries at least cut in half from what he's previously been averaging. So I think we'll see more James People this game. And a whole heavy lot of Trey Henderson.
Yeah. Tony?
I mean, I believe I believe he might play some in the Nebraska game. Depends on how fast we start, but I don't believe he misses the Penn State game by any circumstances. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, even if he had to play with, who was it that played? Who we had that ran with a cast on it? Was it Zeke that had a cast on his hand? For somebody ran for like a whole season with a cast on their hand.
I don't remember.
Neither do I.
I can't remember it. Somebody did though. Like
yeah.
I believe Quinshon would be that person that would have a cast on his hand and still run down people's throats. So
yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
I could
see him miss Penn State. So
I could see that out of him. Hey, before we move on to the defense, I want 3 players on the offensive side of the ball that you guys want to see more of in the second half of the field. What we're going to do is we're going to go one by one. Melo, you're going to start, then I'm going to go, then Tony's going to go, then Tony's going to go, then I'm going to go, then you're going to go, and then keep.
So
the train
you said
rolling.
3 players that what?
On the offensive side of the ball that you want to see get more playing time in the second half
That's
of the
easy.
season. A non-starter.
Yeah.
All right, Melo, go.
Jelani Thurman. I got to see more. We need him. They need to just throw him in and let him make his mistakes and learn on the job. Let's go. It's time.
Yeah. I didn't clarify the rules. I mean, but that's like one of the givens. We got it. We've got to be able to repeat. So I'm going to second that. Jelani freaking Thurman, dude.
Yeah.
Tony?
I'm going to go out on a limb here and say Julian Sand, just because that means we're killing the game and we're winning earlier. And I hope the Devan Brown experiment is over.
Gotcha. All right, Tony, who's your second person?
I'll have to go James Peoples. I really think he's got a bright future, and I don't think if we get him some time, I don't think there'll be that big of a drop off.
Yeah. My second one's going to be Brandon Ennis.
I knew it.
I mean, bro.
I'm like, he's definitely saying BI, and I'm going to have to bring somebody else because I was going to say, but I'm like, I know he's saying BI, so.
Dude, I mean, what else am I supposed to do? Brandon Ennis, for sure. Definitely.
You said somebody earlier that I want to see play, and that's Mylan Graham. I love his high school highlight tape. I think he's explosive, and I want to see him. I just want to see what he could do, Like, give him a little bit of burn. He doesn't. Yeah. We don't need him per se, but I want to see what he could do as a freshman.
Yeah.
And my next person, who I'll take? I'm going to go O-line. I want to see Luke Montgomery. I know it sounds crazy, but, there's no way nobody can convince me that Luke Montgomery can't be a better right tackle than Josh Fryer. In my mind, it just doesn't – I can't comprehend that. So I need to see it.
Yeah. I want Demarion Witten to come in as the receiving tight end.
Okay.
A little bit. Get him into games. You never know, bro. See what happens, man. I know that he's in the wide receiving room right now, but do that after the season.
Melo took mine, but I was definitely going to say Mylan Graham. I really hope it's the back half of the season when it matters. And I think we need more receiver rotation. And I think Mylan Graham's going to be awesome. I really think he's got a bright future. So
yeah. I like what Melo said too, bringing up another offensive lineman, because if you think about it, we saw Austin Searveld was the only one in the actual rotation of meaningful snaps, and it's like, I get you, but I don't get you, because now look where you're at. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
nobody talks about Luke Montgomery either.
I know, or George Fitzpatrick, or who was. There was one more, Ian Moore. You know what I'm saying?
He was a beast too.
Yeah, he was pretty highly, talked about. It's just like, man, I just wish that the coaches could somehow get them in the first half, put them in there on a meaningful drive or something, and see what's up, just to give them that experience. But let's hit special teams real fast, man. Because Tony, we graded last night. I don't know if you watched the live show, but we were on here. We talked about special teams, and I'm pretty sure they got an F for a failing grade. So let's talk about, I don't know if it can actually happen this game or not, but let's talk about what we want to see out of special teams this game, if it's anything different. Tony?
Yeah, I gave them, I was there last night. I gave them an F all the way across the board. I mean,
Oh yeah, I
everybody,
seen you in the chat. I don't know what I'm
yeah,
talking about.
like I think everybody wants to see some sort of like at least more, but like Brendan Ennis started out the season really good with kick returns, you know what I'm saying, or like punt returns and stuff. Like I think everybody's still really hoping that curse gets broken. But like I really would like to see like the Aussie punter, like the kid could kick it like 90 yards. You were talking like a 40-yard punt last night. Like if we're averaging or if we're kicking 40-yard punts, like that's not good. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, and we've
Well,
had good punters for a long time, and we don't now.
well, again, I should look up stuff before I speak it, but in my memory bank, I remember, unless I'm crazy, two 40-yard punts in the Oregon game. And I remember sitting in the stands and watching him punt it and being like, isn't it supposed to go further than that? Like, I feel like it's supposed to go a little bit further, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I am going to go back and look at that as well. But I just want to see some more fire on special teams. I want some jokers coming out there. On the kickoff thing, if they fair catch it, bump into them, shove them on the ground, get a flag, something. Freaking get turned up on special teams, make something happen, bring some energy into the special teams, and make it feel like you're actually playing in the dang game. Don't just run out there and run down the field and just blah, 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 blah. Dude, somebody needs to bring some energy into the special teams, make something happen, get after a punt, get after an extra point, like do something. I, do something fun in special teams. Try a trick play. I don't give a dang what it is. Do something to bring some energy back into our special teams.
They look scared out there. That's like when we punt the ball, like they look scared.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but it's
Crazy.
something.
See, I
Melo.
want to see Ennis return one, so that means I need to see better blocking on returns. Also, I'm with you, Dev. I want to see them fly down and knock somebody's head off. Period.
Yeah.
I want to see them just rock somebody, start hitting with
Yeah.
that Big Ten Ohio State, like welcome to Columbus power. I want to see exactly what Tony also said. I want to see the Aussie punter. Like put them in the game.
Yeah.
What are we waiting for? Like put them in the game.
Yeah.
Those are the main things I want to see. The field goal kicker, I don't have any trust in them because if they had trust in them, they would have kicked a field goal against Oregon. But obviously they didn't, and they should have upped the price. It went after the Miami of Ohio transfer that was in the portal. I don't care what deal he had with Bama. I would have came with a bigger bag and be like, yeah, rip that up, send that money back to them. You staying home.
Yeah. I'm going to say it and I'm going to keep saying it again. I am so sick and tired of literally watching dang near every other college football team in the nation kick 50 to 55-yard field goals on a weekend basis. And the Ohio State Buckeyes cannot. I'm over it,
Man, they're not
honestly.
even
But
attempting 40 yarders, barely. You know what I mean? Like
yeah, dude.
it's bad. It's
Yeah.
really bad. You put so much pressure on your offense and defense when you don't have at least a decent kicker.
Yeah, I know, man. It's kind of wild to me, but let's move on to the juice and the meat of what everybody is really excited to see in this next game. Is Ryan Day telling the truth in his press conference, because he made some statements in there that weren't conversational points. They were demands. Coaches were demanded and told to do something to get more pressure on the quarterbacks. I mean, Ryan Day made that very clear. Everybody's guessing and wondering what that is. Some people are saying maybe they're practicing the jack, bringing the jack in. Some people are saying you're really not going to be able to notice a difference. It's going to be the same 4-down linemen. They're just going to start doing more things, turning them loose or whatever. So let's start there, man. What do we want to see out of the defense? Melo, it's your turn to start.
I want to see some more creativity. Period. I want to get rid of the just containing with the DNs. Allow them to use swim moves, use their spin moves, bench and rip. You know the normal stuff, but like let them play free. I want to see some more stunts with the D line and the linebackers. You know, I'll mix it up. Send the safety blitz. Caleb Downs is a very good blitzer. Let Sonny blitz. Make sure he's blitzing a different hole than Cody Simon. You know, I don't want to see two D linemen rushing the quarterback and everybody else is dropping and there's no depth and they're still getting the ball off and just picking our defense apart. Like,
Yeah.
I want to see, and most importantly, I want to see press man coverage from our DBs.
Yeah. I pretty much second that. I got to see some creativity with the pressure. I mean, I don't, even if it's something simple up front, like you said, stunts and twists or something, so the offense doesn't know the same things coming every single time. But my most important thing is I want to see more freaking players on the dang field. This is Nebraska. This is going to be a good opportunity to maybe get Edric Houston in the freaking game, let him do something, and all these other uh, extremely talented defensive players that you have on the team. I said it at the beginning of the show. There's several reasons why you need to do it, and it's even more pressing this year, more than any other year, for the fact that it's transfer portal and it's the freaking wild, wild west. But again, more importantly, it's the future of your team, and it's, dude, we're gonna play how many games this year? I mean, you already see Lathan Ransom getting injured. I mean, if Tyleek Williams has to go out and play 50 some snaps in the next 2 games, how good do you think that dude's gonna be in the national title game when we get there?
Right.
He's gonna be toast, bro. What about
Right.
our defensive ends? What about Ty Hamilton? All of them, dude. K-Mac better get in the game.
Yeah.
Jason Moore, all of them, dude. Put them in the game, let them grow, give them a series to build, and stop putting Jack and JT on the end in your Rushman package. Move them into D tackle, put Curry and Kenyatta or Melton or Houston. I don't give a dang. Put somebody else on the ends. Let them have a shot at it.
Right.
And then the press coverage is a big deal. The secondary definitely has to step up. With their assignments. Let's stop with the soft zone all the time. It just ain't getting it done. It ain't working. And I'm also very excited to see what they do with Lathan not playing. Right? Is it going to be Lorenzo Styles taking his place? Is Hancock going to go back and Jermaine Matthews is going to come up and play in his spot? Is it, who's the other backup safety that we have? Not
Malik
Jalen McClain.
Hartford.
Malik Hartford. Is he coming in? Like, where's this dude been all freaking season, dude? You know what I'm saying? But just because, I got to hit on this too. Let me know if you guys feel the same way. Do you feel like, I mean, anytime a player comes in and makes a mistake, sometimes the coach is just like, boom, they're done. Like, they just don't let him back in the game. I feel like that's what happened with dude. I mean, he came in like what, for one snap in the Scum game last year. I know he gave up a touchdown, but still, it's like, give the dude a shot. You know what I'm saying?
That was Malik
So
Hartford.
Yeah, Malik Hartford.
that's what I'm talking about. Yeah. Like where's he been this year?
He's played a little bit. So has Jalen McClain, like my boy
Yeah.
from Jersey. He's nasty. Like,
Yeah. I'm just
we
saying,
have options.
I want to see him more.
Yeah.
Like, look at the games that we've played. They've been blowouts, and I still don't feel like it's enough snaps for some of these guys. Or put them in meaningful snaps, give them the opportunity. But Tony, what's your thoughts on defense?
Exactly what you said. Rotation. Like every other college football program rotates everybody all the time, from whether it's DBs, whether it's defensive linemen, whatever. Like literally, I watched Georgia go through 5 or 6 defensive backs against Texas, and they all were doing perfectly fine, and they rotated them in and out all game. And even when they needed them, those kids were out there and knew what they were doing, even if they were the second string. You know what I'm saying? Like, we have people, you know what I'm saying? Like Malik Hartford and, you know what I'm saying? Jaden Bonsu, you know what I'm saying? Like, we're deep, you know, at every position. But like the whole thing that you said too with the transfer portal, like, dude, like think about like if K-Mac or Kenyatta or Mitchell Melton or Gabe Powers or Arvell, all of them want to transfer next year. Like, I would be sick to my stomach. You know what I'm saying? Because like they're just not playing. Like, like Jermaine Matthews, like we lose him, or we lose Aaron Scott or Bryce West, or all these amazing cornerbacks that we have from SFE and all these things that like we're stacking up for the future, just walk out the door because they didn't get 2 snaps a game. That's silly. Like, when we have the people, and they told us at the beginning of the year, like our backups are just as we consider them starters. I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I get you. It's definitely frustrating. So I got a question for y'all, man. I watched Minutes to Sports today. I heard Zach talk about something that really intrigues me, and I respect Zach in a lot of different ways. He knows way more about football than I probably ever will. But I was just under the impression that my number one concern was player rotation. His number one concern that he brought up was Jim Knowles in the scheme. Now, what he did was beautiful. I love what he did. He went back and he looked at Oklahoma State when Jim Knowles was there, and he read the defensive stats in their big games. And guess what? Same results as we get here. But the thing about it is, he's not really running the same defense he was there. So the question I have that I pose to both of you is, are you more concerned with Jim Knowles' scheme, or are you more concerned with rotation? Now, I understand both of them are issues, both of them need addressed, but which one would you consider the more important issue to address right now?
Jim Knowles' scheme. It's very simple for me. I think he doesn't have a good scheme. It has shown the previous 3 years. Big games is what we brought him in here for, not to beat Akron, not to beat Wisconsin, who's good in their own right, not to beat Iowa, is to beat the team up north, Penn State, and make runs in the CFP and for a natty. So he has failed every single big test. I think his scheme is not good. I honestly, just being honest, I don't believe in him. I think that he might be over his skis. So we'll see how this year finishes, and if he could prove me wrong, which I'm hoping he is, and we'll go from there. But if not, then maybe he needs to go back to Duke or Oregon State.
Yeah. You mean he coached Oklahoma State, right?
Yeah, that's what I meant. Oklahoma State.
Okay.
Sorry.
Well, dude, I got so confused. You're good, bro.
Little
Tony?
Cowboys, whatever. They're both programs are trash. So
same
either way,
they have the same color scheme.
I get
Yeah,
them
they're both
I get them
trash,
confused all the time. Yeah, Tony, what's your answer to that question?
I mean, I don't think it would have to be scheme too. Like, as much as rotation is awesome and we need it, I think if his scheme was not like a bunch of zone and bail coverages and like getting caught with his pants down, especially in big games, like we can't have Ryan Day who can't win a big game and a defensive coordinator who can't win a big game. Like, that's not a good combo. But like Jim Knowles literally, like, yeah, is giving up 450, 500 yards every big game, and like just expects his offense to outduel, the other team. And literally, like, his scheme, if his scheme was more press and less zone, and we fixed some of those things, like, we wouldn't have to really rotate because we could get those guys in there. It wouldn't be a rotation issue. It would be just they're getting meaningful playing time because our offense is still doing what we're doing, but we're actually stopping something in those games. He's a swinging door. He's Enoch. You know what I'm saying? He's just letting whatever through, and his scheme, I think, like Zach said, like, is very concerning, especially in big games. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it definitely is. I'm going to push back a little bit on a couple things both y'all said. To me, it's rotation. Both, like I said earlier, both clearly need to be worked on. But this is the problem I pose to both of y'all. If the scheme's good, but a player's got his hands on his knees and can hardly breathe and hardly has any energy left to even run a play, I'm not sure how effective that player is going to be in that scheme against. But again, nobody's right or wrong here in this. I'm just talking about the other side of it. And I truly do believe that it is rotation because scheme 100% needs to be worked on. But I just keep having flashbacks to the Oregon game. I was there. I watched the defense down the field. They were wore out. They were tired. It was pathetic to sit there and let these players, do that to themselves with this long of a season and all that stuff. And then the other thing is I'm going to choose to have faith in Jim Knowles right now. It makes me nervous to do that, but I do. I think that, there's a lot of positive things. And hopefully this was that wake up call for the entire staff, for Ryan Day and Jim Knowles and Larry Johnson. And I do want to address something I said. I think on one of my shows, I was pretty hard on Larry Johnson and talk about him. After listening to a lot of people that know a lot more about than me about the program, it's Jim Knowles, man. I don't think it's a Larry thing, and I'm also starting to second guess this whole that Larry and Jim are not getting along and all that. That like a lot of other shows keep talking about. I'm not sure how much I buy into that, and that's the next thing I want y'all's opinion on. You think there's any credence to that? I mean, I know you can make a case that that's true, but you can make a case that it's not true as well. So Tony, what you think about that?
I mean, listen, to be fair, like Ryan Day called Jim Knowles the head coach of the defense. That's how he referred to him. You know what I'm saying? So like, if he's willing to refer to him like that, then I think just like everything that falls on the head coach, like falls on Ryan Day. If somebody fails, one of his coaches failed. If you know what I'm saying, I think it falls on Jim Knowles at the end of the day. And I don't think Larry Johnson's dictating anything to Jim Knowles, like the way that I think Ryan Day has it set up now. And from what I understand, like I really think, and Larry Johnson's been around for a bajillion years, and like everybody at this time of year always questions Larry Johnson: is he retiring? He should retire. Blah 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 blah. And he always proves them wrong. And I mean, to be fair, like I heard said today, like Larry Johnson was there for the Bosa boys and all those, and we always had a pass rush. Jim Knowles is there, and now we don't, and we still have killers on the defensive line. So, like, you know, like I think they really would unleash some of those guys, like Larry Johnson would want to. Like, I've seen JT do one spin move this year, and it was the fastest spin move I've ever seen a DN make in his life. I don't know why he doesn't do it every play. But I just don't think they're like, because he's got to run contain every play. He's not doing spin moves to try to sack the quarterback. So I really don't think I think that's more of a Jim Knowles scheme thing than it is a Larry Johnson dictating thing.
Yeah, when we did our live last night, Melo brought up that point, which I didn't think about at all. I thought it was beautiful. He's the first person I heard bring that up. That Larry Johnson's been around for a long time. The Bosa brothers and everybody else didn't have any problems getting any sacks. So what's the difference? But Melo, go ahead with your answer to that question, and I want to reiterate the question one more time. Did Jim Knowles and Larry Johnson butt heads? That's
Yeah,
the
they
question.
did initially because Jim Knowles wanted to run his 3-down linemen. We don't recruit for 3-down linemen, and we have elite linemen everywhere. You know, they might not be getting sacks and stuff, but I think that's more scheme oriented and Coach Day asking Knowles not to give up big plays. But I don't think that they're arguing now. I just think Jim Knowles' scheme is not that good. I think,
Gotcha.
and not so much that it's not that good, but you have to be able to assess your DBs and know their strengths. And the DBs, our team's strength for the DBs, press man. Especially against an Oregon team. Now, maybe against a different team that doesn't have small, super quick, super fast, accelerating wide receivers, you could play off a little bit. But against Oregon, like, what was that game plan? It was atrocious. You have to give that extra second for your D line to separate and get off their block. But also, you need to free the D line. And JT did do the spin move more than once. He did it earlier in the season and it worked, and he tried it again in the Oregon game and they picked it up. So it did work in the Oregon game. But yes, he should be using it more because that spin move is elite. And just because it didn't work one time in the game doesn't mean it's not going to work again. So yes, I agree with you on that. So that's my answer.
Yeah. What was I going to say? It was something. I had a good thought there, and I think it's gone now. But yeah, definitely. Something has to change. Oh, I remember now. You know, it was interesting to me, man. I know when um, who ca- who came on from Scoop? What's his name again? Came on with us.
On
It was an
Scoop?
awesome
Oh, B
show.
Moses?
Yeah, B Moses. When B Moses came on, he called me and you, Mello, that we watch all the press conferences. He was so excited
Yeah.
about it. Well, I dug a little something out of the press conference. My little tidbit that I dug out of it was how much Ryan Day went in to the fact that we recruit really good D linemen, right? And that's why
Yep.
we go 4 down, because other programs like Oklahoma State does not recruit like we do on the defensive line. Well, I got a question for you.
I like
If
that.
that's the case,
Mm-hmm.
why are we not rotating? It came out of Ryan Day's mouth. We recruit. elite defensive linemen here at Ohio State. What the problem is? That's my little.
I feel you, but you know what I understand what you're saying. You're 100% correct with that. But what I took out of it is like Jim Knowles, we're not doing 3 down linemen. That's basically what he said. His message was to Jim Knowles.
Yeah.
Like, I'm with Larry. We're using 4 down linemen. That's what our system is, and that's how we're going to run it. And now I'm telling you, generate pressure with that or get to walking. Because if you can only generate pressure with 3 down linemen and you need a jack to generate pressure, then how elite are you? You're not good enough to be here. That's for sure.
Yeah. The funny thing is Ryan Day hears the outside noise. He does. He has heard about this Jim Knowles, Larry Johnson thing. And the funny thing, and the funny thing is that the entire press conference, the only thing I got out of it was Jim Knowles needs to get his crap together. I didn't hear anything like saying
Knowles' doorstep.
Yeah, I didn't hear anything like negative towards Larry Johnson. It was, hey, Jim Knowles was told right when he got here, listen, we recruit elite defensive linemen, meaning we're playing 4 down. I mean, and that makes sense too. Play to the strength of your players. But Jim Knowles didn't have the experience to do that. He did it with 3 down linemen, and he's got to learn. He's got to figure it out. And we got plenty of coaches on the staff that can figure it out. If they need help, dude, they can watch a couple YouTube shows, YouTube channels. We got you, man. We'll tell you what to do.
Just watch the Buckeye Boys.
Right. Yeah. It all figured out.
Yeah, for sure. All righty. What else?
Linebackers. Let's talk about linebackers. We have to address linebackers, man. So what do you guys want to see from the linebacker play? Do you want to see rotation? You want to see different starters? What do you want to see James Laurinaitis work on with the linebackers that they need to improve on?
That might be the funniest question you've asked on any show so far is, do we want to see rotation? Because I don't know, man. I don't know, dude. No. For sure. I guess I'll say it. I guess that's one thing we didn't. I didn't get to that yet, but after the linebackers, we're going to do the 3-player thing again. But yeah, bro. Freaking rotation. I want to see a little more energy in that room, a little more fire, and I want to see backwards tackles. I want to see linebackers driving people the other way when they tackle them, right?
Yep.
And I have 100% faith that we're going to see it. I just do. It's just there. I got faith in James Laurinaitis. I think now Sonny has got that experience. I think that after this loss, Cody Simon, hopefully he's getting woken up. And Arvell Reese comes in the game. And hopefully we see a little bit more of CJ Hicks too, since we're going to be a little more aggressive. Get after the quarterback. Who better to put in the game than somebody that can't do anything else but that? Let's do it, baby. So that might be one of the more exciting position groups I'm ready to see the second half of the season, because more experience for Sonny now. And the dude is he's such a freak athlete, bro. He could literally take over the dang game, bro. I mean, seriously. So,
and I want to see that. I want to see him actually dominate. I want to see a Jalen Walker performance from Sonny Styles, because you have the same athleticism. You're actually more of a freak show than Jalen Walker from UGA. I expect to see that. Stop thinking, react. When you drop it to your zones, you need to get the proper depth, because you guys did not get that at all against Oregon. And I want to see you kill somebody. I'm tired of seeing 6'6", 240 pounds running a 4.3, getting truck sticked a little bit. Like, the running backs are falling forward on you. Get lower, get your pad level lower, and drive through them. Hit them at the waist, wrap up, pick their feet off the ground and slam them. Period.
I'm gonna call it now. By the time we get to the Big Ten title game and to the playoffs, Sonny is going to be playing his best ball, and he's going to be an absolutely dominant linebacker. So that's my little take. Tony, linebackers.
I mean, yeah, like Sonny, you did see him hit the hole and actually go through the hole and not stand and wait in the hole. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, go be attacking. You know what I'm saying? Like, all the defense is an attacking defense. He needs to be attacking. Like, and I think he'll get there. But then I have 4 words after that: Arvell Reese, Gabe Powers. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
like, and I could be wrong. Like, maybe I'm completely wrong. But we all saw Cody Simon miss like 170 tackles in the Oregon game. And I have all the faith in Cody Simon. Like, he's been good. But, like, the linebackers were not great in that game. And Arvell Reese played 4 snaps. Somebody should be criminally prosecuted for that. And, you know, like, literally, I know, like, it's hard to get everybody on the field. And they only play 3 linebackers every now and then. But, like, at this point, they told us all year before this, like, we're going to get the best players on the field. Ryan Day even said it in his press conference. It's all about getting the best players on the field. Like, why are we not doing that?
Well,
Like,
Laurinaitis said it too. He said it was going to be week by week.
Right.
And
like,
that was a lie.
Well, he might not have been lying. That might be his intent. He might have got vetoed from the man up above him.
And
yeah,
literally, like, I believe that, like, maybe there was a problem with Jelani and it was like something where they just like phased him out or whatever. I don't believe that. I believe they just like gave up on him for whatever reason, the same way they aren't putting Arvell Reese in. You know what I'm saying? Like, they know he has been a killer and like was, you know, kind of being the best linebacker out of the group at the time. You know what I'm saying? And just sat on the bench handing out Gatorade. So
yeah,
that's what I would like to see.
Yeah, I feel you there. We're gonna do our three players that we want to see more of in the second half of the season. But the first thing I want to do real fast is I want to specifically hit on our defensive tackle depth that we have on the team. So, I mean, I think we can all agree that Tyleik Williams, Ty Hamilton, and Caden McDonald, I would trust any of those 3 in any game, in any scenario. Yeah, I don't care what it is. And I might even move Caden McDonald above Ty Hamilton in certain situations. But that's me. Who's next on the list?
Tywan Malone.
Yeah, there was Tywan Malone. There's Jason Moore.
Jason Moore's a giant too.
Yeah, and then there's Hero Canoe, right? So who was the defensive tackle that was it? Oh yeah, it was Jim Knowles. He had a really good game. Was it? I feel like it might have been Tywan Malone that he said he earned more playing time. Do you guys remember who that was in his press conference?
He said that about Tywan Malone and Hero Canoe at some point.
Yeah.
He said it about both of them. So,
but Jason Moore never got brought up. Am I confusing something to it?
Jason Moore's like 6'6".
Jason Moore got brought up in like fall camp by LJ.
Yeah, he's a giant.
Yeah,
Jason Moore's supposed to be a beast.
They say he's like a prototypical D lineman.
Yeah, that's you hear stuff like that. You heard about Hero Canoe too, and then they just come in. But here's the thing, man. I think Brett brought up a really good point the other night. He's brought it up a couple times, and that's, bro, these players got to stay in long enough to get into the rhythm.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like, if you're putting them in for 4 snaps or even just 8, and they make a couple mistakes, you take them out, you don't put them back in the game. It's like, golly, bro, like, look what that does to a player's confidence. So
yeah,
I just think something's off there and that kind of stuff, because I do believe that we have plenty of depth at defensive tackle. All I ever hear is that the coaches don't trust these players. They don't think they're good enough to go in. But then you hear the coaches say the exact opposite. They're not saying what people are guessing. Like, they're not going to go, Jim Knowles is not going to go out of his way to bring up Tywan Malone's name if he doesn't think he earns it. Larry Johnson's not going to go out of his way to bring up Moore's name unless he thinks he's good enough. So, you know, I'm just readdressing and digging into this rotation thing a little bit deeper, and want to make sure that we're not just automatically assuming that these players aren't good enough to get in the game. Like, maybe there's something else more to that, because we recruited them because we thought they were good enough. They've been here for a long time now. Larry Johnson's one of the best defensive line coaches in the country. You can't get a 3rd-year defensive lineman. You don't trust him by now. I don't buy that for 2 seconds. I think we do. I think they're plenty good enough to get in the game and do their thing. So something's a little weird there. You guys got any thoughts on that?
Jim Knowles at the beginning of the season said, we consider our secondary, you know, D linemen and stuff or whatever, the same as starters. We consider them starters. You know what I'm saying? They're that good. Told us how Mitchell Melton and Caden McDonald, Caden Curry, all those dudes were considered starters. They were just the same as all the rest of them because they were that good. And yet I have yet to see them like they say one thing, but their actions don't match their words, and that's what's confusing.
Yeah. Don't you guys hear that a lot? Sorry, Bella. Go ahead. Do you think?
I agree with what you both said, that it just doesn't add up. I have no idea what's going on or why.
Yeah.
It just doesn't make sense. So
it gets to me a little bit when I hear a lot of other people talking and they just put it on there that these other guys aren't good enough. You know what I mean? And I'm just like, dang, man, I don't buy it, bro. I just don't buy that out of all those players we just listed, they're not good enough. Nah, man. Maybe one of them is slacking in practice or something, but not all of them, dude. These kids want to go to the NFL. That's why they came to the highest state. Their life is football. Not all of them are bad eggs. So
we've seen them all be good in games, though. Like we've seen them when Mitchell Melton in there, how twitchy he is. Kenyatta, Caden McDonald, Caden Curry. They've all been amazing when they've been in there, but it's a flash in the pan and they're gone.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Let's do the 3 players that we want to see more of in the game. I'm half tempted to not allow any repeats on this because I think our defense is deep enough that we can come up with 9 freaking players.
No repeats.
That need to go on. So no repeats. Tony, you got to go first, man.
Because I've become the president of the Arvell Reese fan club, I'm going to go with Arvell Reese.
That's a pretty darn good one. That might be number 1, dude. Might be number 1. So, yeah, I'm voting that number 1 right now. But, Melo, what you think? You think Arvell Reese?
I like Arvell. He should be playing, but that's not who I'm picking.
Okay, but do you think? I know that we're not picking him, but I'm just saying, is Arvell Reese your number 1 player on defense you want to see more of? He might not be. He's not mine either. Oh, I know who you're going to pick. I already know who you're going to pick. It's your turn.
I'm not going to pick him.
I know who you're picking, dude. I'm telling you. I know who you're picking.
I'm letting you pick him. I know who you think I'm going to pick, but I'm not.
Okay. All right.
Well, but that is my number 1. I'm going to pick Jermaine Matthews. I want to see him get in the game. And
no, Melo, I got you. That's exactly who I thought you were going to pick.
No, you did it.
Yes, I did. I swear. Swear over everything. I knew you were going to pick Jermaine Matthews. Yeah, I did, bro.
Oh, okay. Well, that's not my number 1 who I would want to see.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I think I know who Dev's going to pick, though.
Hold on, let me think now. I want to make sure you guys don't know who I'm going to pick. No, just joking. I'm picking K-Mac, bro.
Yeah,
that's my number 1.
Yeah.
Is that? Yeah, I'm picking K-Mac, bro.
That was my number 1.
With K-Mac.
I mean, we might have just dropped the top 3 at bare minimum. That has to be the top 3. I can't think of any other ones that would go above them. Arvell Reese, Jermaine Matthews, Caden McDonald. I mean, you got Curry, you got Jackson, but still those 3 right there. I don't know, bro.
I think K-Mac, man. K-Mac to me is the number 1 because he gets so much pressure up the middle. He's massive. Like, it's just insane. They're not playing him, bro. It doesn't. I don't get it.
I want to say they're the top 3, but then look at our backup defensive ends, dude.
Yeah.
It's like, dang, man. I can't give you a top 3, be honest with you. And you might not put Jermaine in the top 3 just because of the starters, position. You know. Yeah, just because the position, that's it. But I would say Arvell's top 3, K-Mac's top 3, and then one of the other defensive ends probably will be. But Melo hit us with oh no, did I go last? I get to pick twice now. That's right. I'm going Caden Curry. I like his motor that he has when he comes in the game. He's flashed every time he comes in. I wanted to say another player's name really, really bad. Hopefully y'all miss him and I get to say him on the very last one. But who's next? Melo.
I'm going to take who? I want to see Edric Houston.
That's a good one.
Big Edric Houston, 7-foot wingspan. Every time he's come in, he's made something happen. He gets off of blocks extremely well because, I mean, most of the time, the old linemen can't even get their hands on him because he's already got him fully stretched out.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. Do you think it's optional whether we see Edric Houston or not, do you think that the coaching staff has a freaking option in today's day and age with the transfer portal and everything else? You
I
think it's
think they worked it
optional?
out before, and Edric said he
You think so?
knows like he's not going to come in and play right away. So I think it's fine with him.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Tony, Melo, is that you blowing up on whose
Yeah, I
phone is
got to take
black?
this call real quick.
All right, Tony, who's your other one?
I would go Mitchell Melton.
Okay.
He's super, like, I think it's just another one of the super fast, super twitchy. You know what I'm saying? Like, gets in there. Like, I really think he's going to be good. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you could pick any one of those dudes on the D line or anything that are backups or D ends. Like, but I think Mitchell Melton, I'd like to see more.
To me, Caden Curry, Kenyatta Jackson, Mitchell Melton. To me, it's just like pick one
Yeah, they're absolutely even. Yep.
Yeah, and let them get in their zone, man. Let them get in their thing. All right, you're up again for your third and final pick.
And I think just as a shout out to Bread, I'm gonna go Kenyatta.
All right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I think Kenyatta does not get nearly enough love. A lot of the other dudes, K-Mac, and like that are really good too, get a lot more shine. And I think, you know, Kenyatta is just as good. So.
No, yeah. Not only that, I mean, he's earned it. I mean, he's there. But the crazy thing is I believe he got like the second or the third most snaps out of any defensive end in the Oregon game. Correct? I think he got like 17.
Yeah.
And all the other ones. So clearly.
A lot.
So clearly, the coaching staff, they see Kenyatta's ability in the game too. I've got to go with my dude Gabe Powers, man. I mean, he hasn't done anything but just absolutely shine. Now he shined against, not I think second team offenses a lot, but still he's doing what an elite player should when he's getting in against not so elite players. So I don't know how you can, that's not really an excuse to say, yeah, but he was doing it against the second team. Well, that's what you would expect Cody Simon and Sonny Styles to do against, minutes at the end of the game when kids maybe aren't playing as hard and stuff. You would expect them to dominate and do exactly what Gabe Powers is doing. So Gabe Powers is who I pick. So,
and I'm going to pick Mitch Melton.
It's gone. Mitch is
gone.
Oh,
man, I missed it.
Yeah. You missed it.
Mitchell and then Kenyatta.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Then I'm going to go Aaron Scott.
Good one.
I like it. Yeah. I like it. I really wanted to mention another defensive tackle as well, just because I just think. Okay, so let me ask you guys this: how many people need to be rotating on the defensive line, more specifically defensive tackle? Do we need to see one player rotating in every game in meaningful snaps, or do we need two?
I would say two. I mean, we play 4 down linemen. I think having 2 rotate in seems reasonable. We have the depth. Like, and
just defensive tackle. Yeah, just defensive tackle. And I agree with you, Tony. And specifically because of how long the dang season is, I think it needs to be K-Mac and Tywon Malone or Hero Canoe. Pick one of them and get these guys involved in the first half of the game, get them in the game plan, and kind of the same on defensive end. But
I think those are interchangeable though. Like, I think part of the creativity that we need to see is them putting, Jack at defensive tackle and, somebody else at D end, you know what I'm saying? And switching it up and letting them run stunts and doing creative things where you don't know where those 2 dudes are and you don't think they're running cage, rush every time.
Yeah, for sure. Well, Tony, we did our score predictions last night during the live. For us, Bread picked 42-10. I picked 49-6, and Melo picked 52-0.
Ooh.
Tony, what is your official Nebraska Ohio State score prediction?
49-13.
Tony is picking 49-13. Okay. I like it. I want to say one more thing that I want happen. I want the offense to have the most yards it's had in the season so far. I got to see it. come out there firing. But all right, fellas, any closing statements, any breaking news, breaking rumors, any juicy stuff you guys want to mention? Melo, I think you got a few recruiting tidbits you might want to mention before we hop off here. You brought it up when we came on off air. So you
Yeah,
remember what
just
we're
keep
talking
your
about?
eye out on Naeem Offer. I actually think he won't end up in the class, if I had to say right now. Canceled his visit this weekend, so we'll see. Just keep that's going to be one to watch. I think he's probably going to flip. OG Walt was at his game, his previous game. He was wearing UGA gloves, which we know he's not going there. And he took off his Ohio State sticker off the back of his helmet that he wore in the game against Carrollton when they played Juju Lewis on ESPN. So, I mean, it's not everything, but the little things you have to pay attention to. Their family's saying all the right things, but their actions are saying the exact opposite of what their mouths are saying. It's like they went to the school of Ryan Day uh, in terms of saying one thing and then doing another thing. So
Yeah.
keep an eye
I,
out on that.
I heard Naeem Alford's dad on the 5-Star Flex in an interview, and to be honest with you, I did not get good feelings at all. His dad was talking about the moment when Naeem actually committed, and I don't know if you guys know this or not, but that wasn't planned at all. He didn't even tell his parents he was committing until he was in Ryan Day's office. His parents learned he was committing when Naeem turned around and said, "Hey, mom, dad, I told Coach Walt I was committing today, so I'm committing." His parents said they don't mind it, but you could just tell in his dad's voice that he did not like it. He wasn't happy that he committed so soon and all that stuff. So I just don't feel like we honestly have the backing of the dad in this situation, and he's pushing for Naeem to make sure, to get out and take other visits and do all these things. But Melo, I agree with you. But on a good note for recruiting, Jakeem Stewart, bro, he coming to the Nebraska game. Did you guys know that?
I didn't know it was confirmed or not.
Yeah, it's confirmed now that he is. So he's supposed to be coming for an unofficial to the Nebraska and an official to the Team Up North game. He's also making an unofficial to Oregon next weekend. But dude, that smoke's real.
Yeah.
It's real. Ohio State fans, the Jakeem Stewart to Ohio State, it's real, man. It's the real deal. It ain't no
And
smoke.
that's
So
an example of why we don't run 3 down linemen. Jim knows.
yeah. But before I talk about any more recruiting things, me and Mello, we will be dropping we'll probably do it live. We'll probably do it live. Maybe this Sunday on our live, we'll hit a bunch of recruiting stuff because I do have quite a few things. I'm sure you do as well. So, Tony, any closing thoughts on this show today?
I have two. One, I hope we just because I can be petty. I hope we really run Dylan Rail into the ground and make him really regret not coming here. Just not that we even would have really wanted him at that point, but why not? And two, the stat that I heard today on Menace that gave me pause about Jim Knowles was that since in the CFP era, no national champion winner has had a defensive coordinator over 50. Jim Knowles is 59. And his highest draft pick was from Oklahoma State, and he went in the 4th round.
Yep, I heard the same stat. Well, we appreciate you watching, Buckeye Nation. I'm excited for the Buckeyes to come off their bye week and take care of business for Nebraska. Show Dylan Raiola he committed to the wrong school, and he's gonna find out. He's gonna learn today. Well, no, he's gonna learn Saturday. So,
Yep.
we appreciate you. Don't forget to like and subscribe. You want to come on the show? You know what to do. Email us. Comment below. We'll comment back. Share the feed. Help us out, man. We're over 500 subscribers. It's freaking awesome, man. We got some really cool guests coming your way. We also have a really cool video that Tony's putting together right now. I took a bunch of video clips of the Oregon trip. So we'll be dropping that video as well. I'm also going to go into depth on our channel on my Oregon trip. I did it on the Ohio podcast with Eric. He did a little interview with me. Oregon fans loved that video. They loved hearing about it. And I think there's almost 12,000 views on that video over there. So we're going to drop a little more in-depth video on our channel about the Oregon trip. And we appreciate you, Buckeye Nation. Appreciate the love. We love you. Help us grow the channel so we can do more things for you, give away more things. We want this channel to explode. We want to give away tickets. We want to bring some fans to games with us. That's what we're trying to do on this channel. We're trying to make it a fan channel, like for real, for real. So we appreciate you. On that note, go Buckeyes. OH.
I-O.
Nah, man, that was sad, dude. OH.
I-O.
I-O.
Whatever.